Hello guys, so today we're going to be looking at the first map on the ranking list, and by first I mean last, because we are going last to first. So, if you were watching my stream last night, you know that I said that I was going to be doing Asteroid Field first, but after a conversation, I decided that there needed to be an adjustment to one of the scores, and so that pushed it above Sandy Fortress. So now Sandy Fortress is the lowest ranked map, and we are going to explain why. So, first of all, the first category is the balance between short and long games. And I gave this a 4 out of 20. And, you know, I think the games actually are pretty similar length most of the time, but I don't think I've ever seen a Sandy Fortress game end first rush. Like, you never ever see that. If you do, the teams are probably tiny. But full teams, you just don't see that, because, I mean, the thing is, it's a hard map to cap on. So, it just makes the games very long. Which, I mean, I personally really like that, and it kind of hurts putting such a low score. But, you know, the simple fact is you don't get short games on this map, and that means it's getting a 4 out of 20. So, the second category, we got the balance of bow and melee combat. So I gave this a pretty decent score. I gave it a 13 out of 20, and right at the bridge there's a lot of bow combat, but once you actually get past the bridge, which when it comes down to it really isn't that difficult, because if you get a couple people going down on the sides next to the lava, basically anybody who is camping the bridge goes and swarms over there, the entire team pretty much. It's pretty funny. But anyways, the thing is, if you can get across and you're in their, not quite in their base yet, but if you're just on their side, there is a pretty good terrain for combat. You can get close to your opponent pretty easily, and it ends up being pretty good. So I thought a 13 out of 20 was fair, because there is always a bridge fight, but you can have some pretty good PvP on either side of the map, disregarding the bridge. So for next category, we got the juke points. Now this is a good map for juking, because there are just things everywhere that you can jump on, and once you grab the flag, you can go over to the left and jump on the house, which it's not an easy jump by any means. You need pretty good momentum, but there is a way you can nicely line it up from the top of the platform where you grab the flag. So that probably boosts the score up a bunch to an 8 out of 10. But even the rest of the map is absolutely loaded with little spots where you can run around and juke people, and it's a lot of fun. It's a good solid map for juking. So the next one is team play. Now, while there is a lot of juking, you really need to kind of rely on your team when you have the flag, because you can get onto that house easy, but if there's a bunch of people camping the bridge, you almost have no hope, because that is a very narrow bridge. You can get hit into lava very easily in the middle, and you can get shot at very easily. So you gotta rely on your team to rush a little bit. So this also gets an 8 out of 10, just because it does promote team play. When someone has the flag, you kind of need your team to help. So next, we're going to be looking at camping spots, which are getting a 4 out of 10. Now, you can camp right at the flag and on the stairs right in front of the of your base, and that does do pretty well for you. But the thing is if you're camping in either of those spots and someone grabs the flag, those are not the best place to be. You're not very well poised to recover the flag there, and that goes into the same thing with camping the bridge, is that you can recover from there, but right behind you, if you're camping the bridge, there's a bunch of things where the flag bearer can jump on and juke you out, and it's just not the best spot to rely on a recovery. And frankly, there aren't really many spots to rely on a recovery. All of the spots where you can kind of sit somewhere and wait aren't really in any of the main flag routes, or they're just kind of completely out of the way in general, and not even kind of in part of the gameplay. So, gave it a 4 out of 10. I suppose you could argue for a little higher, but the simple fact is there's no spot that works both for recovering and killing very well. Next, we're going to be looking at smoothness of rushing. Now, I'm giving this one a 7 out of 10. Because it can be a little awkward to rush, but if you go on the right side out of your base, there is a pretty fast route. You can use You can use blocks right over your head to go a little faster. It's pretty nice. Yeah, and there's a couple routes you can take as well. But you can get out there really fast, kind of, if you know what you're doing. It's just a little bit unintuitive, so that's why kind of lacking. But I gave it a 7 out of 10. It's pretty good. Next, we're looking at the balance of stealing and escaping with the flag. Now, I think this is probably the most balanced map when it comes to that, as it is hard to get to that flag, but it's also hard to cap on, so I'm giving this a 5 out of 5. It's, you can't really get to the flag reliably, because you have to run right through their spawn, and right through their exit route from their spawn, which, I mean, this is a high kill map. There are people respawning all the time, so it's dangerous, it's tricky. You kinda have to be a bit of a hybrid player to really do well, so hybrid kills and capping, because there's a good chance on your way to the flag you're going to encounter multiple people, and if not, it either means the teams are small or you got really lucky. But again, escaping the flag is also really difficult. As I mentioned, the bridge is really narrow. The sides are almost useless because it takes so long to get back up from the sides, and you're a really prime target for anybody who's half decent with a bow. Next, we're going to be looking at popularity, and yeah, this map used to be played on all the time, but now not so much. It's, I give it a 1 out of 5. You really don't see it played very often, and the thing is, when it is played, it's often like you have a huge a tiny lobby with a huge influx from a game ending, and the timer is pretty much almost done already, and so there's really no time to vote, and you see just like this map happen to have 1 or 2 votes from the people waiting in the lobby. It's never really one of those maps that's mass voted, and you almost never see it like twice in a row or anything. It's pretty uncommon, so again, 1 out of 5. Next, we're going to be looking at the number of flag routes, and yeah, when it comes to actual viable escapes, there aren't many. You've got the house jump, you've got, if you're going on the left side, you can kind of cut to the left a little bit, and that can be good. You can go up on the sides to juke people a little bit, but the thing is, like, that's just not a great place to go. And if you're on the ground, you're really vulnerable, and there's only one place you can go that doesn't take you directly on the ground. It's really just, it's not great. There's just not many routes for it. So, and how necessary are strong feet? Well, I originally had given this a higher score, but the thing is, you have to take fall damage most of the time right after grabbing the flag, or you're running right past their spawn, which just isn't viable at all. And so you either take, like, I think it's 3 hearts of fall damage if you fall without jumping, 3.5 if you do with jumping. Don't quote me on that, I might be completely wrong about that. That's just what's off the top of my head from remembering when in 2017 when I didn't have strong feet on this map. But, you know, anyways, so I gave it a 2 out of 5, just because when it comes down to it, when you're escaping with the flag, you really kind of need it, because you can't really escape with low health on this map. It's just not really very easy. And the other thing is, going down on the sides is pretty much useless if you don't have fall damage. But, I mean, other than that, like, yeah, you can get to the flag without needing strong feet. You can have a solid kill game without really needing strong feet. So it gets a 2 out of 5. So anyways, this is coming out to a total of 53 out of 100, which is, that's abysmal, but yeah, it's not a great map. I really like it, but when it comes down to it, it's not great. So, again, 53 out of 100, this is the lowest rating map. And, yeah, I won't spoil what's coming next, but if you know anything about how I feel about capture the flag maps, then you'll probably know what's coming next. And Asteroid Field actually got bumped above this map too. So anyways, well, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to drop your opinions about this in the comments, and yeah, have a great day.